Hey friendos, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Matt and we are back with Marvel Future Fight server patch for the summer update. And well, we know it's going to be controversial, so let's waste no time and get into it. So yes, Mysterio misses out. No tier 4, unlike what everyone was speculating. Luna does get a tier 4, but the uniform is extremely contentious. And yes, we do get a native tier 3 Kang, as I expected, and I think everyone speculated on for the last couple of months. So, let's have a look. Kang, the tier 3 native, looks pretty solid. Probably going to be a PvP character. His leadership, removing debuffs for all allies, but only buffing himself in terms of boost. It's on brand for the character, but it doesn't really make him better necessarily than Gore, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. He does have the revive. His skills look all very PvP focused. Again, as with other new bosses, we see him being a drop from World Boss Legend, so yeah, it'll be interesting. Nothing too stand out, but we shall see. Obviously the main contentious issue here is Luna, because once again Marvel Future Fight have decided to be sexist, allegedly, and predatory, allegedly, by making a fan favourite character a strictly paywall uniform. Yes, the summer tokens are back, and for anyone who isn't able to spend $30 US or the equivalent in their own currency straight off the gate in one go, tough. You miss out. That's all there is to it, unfortunately. Now there will be people on either sides of the spectrum. There will be people, content creators included, people like Cynic Alex, who will say, hey, do you know what? I'm going to get the character because I have to. It's for my job, which perfectly understandable, and I don't think anyone can begrudge them that. And he will give a fair and balanced assessment. There will also be people like Beast Mode who will go and get it and say, hey, if you can't afford it, sucks to be you. I think I'm going to miss it, and we'll get into that later. Then we have Mysterio, who, whilst it's interesting, I mean, aesthetically it looks great. It's very Bioshock. The skills look interesting without being too groundbreaking. But without the tier 4, it's going to be debatable how much damage he can actually really do. Obviously, we get a tier 4 for Luna, which hopefully will be of some use with her old uniform. We shall have to wait and see. And then we get the tier 3 for Kang, and we get a new artifact as well. Mysterio and Luna obviously already have theirs in game. We do get some improvements for some of Odin's skills, so it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. People have been going back and forth on the first and second iterations of Odin, but yeah, as we get down to the comments section and the likes and dislikes, you can tell Marvel Future Fight got absolutely ratioed here, and we'll go through some of the comments to see what people are saying. But look, you can see here the FUs, the WTFs, the $20 K-pop digital doll cosmetic edition. That made me laugh. Very simple FU MFF. I don't care for Luna as a character, but this is just insulting. And here we go. Have to wait another 3 years to be able to play her. And there's the rub, is that paywall uniforms absolutely kill a character. First premium character is Luna. Been waiting for years to get her new uniform. Yeah. $30 uniform to only be PvE. There's some people who were happy, who are excited to see Kang. This one was really going off on a tangent. All Marvel fans around the world to see who he really is. So unless that's a celebrity, I think someone is just more up their own butt than anything. But it was definitely an eye-opener. So yeah, there we go. That was the patch notes. And here we have the state of play as it currently stands. Now, I did get all the uniforms from the last update, War of the Realms. And it's very interesting that Enchantress was one of the characters in that last update, because as we all know, the only uniform she had prior to this was indeed her Summer Days uniform, which is a couple of years old now. And up until War of the Realms last month, she was useless. unless you had that $30 uniform. And that's obviously going to very much play into the situation right now with Luna, and as to whether or not she's going to be any good. So yeah, I used a Mega Mythic on Enchantress, got her straight up because she's a paywall character. We got Odin's, and we're just slowly taking our time with Odin because he's not as useful as I would have liked him to be, and to be honest with Thor, they pretty much both fulfilling the same role. Malekith we're just taking our time building him up. Angela, I'm very happy aesthetically, she looks great, and as a big fan of Spawn back in the 90s, I always love to see Angela getting some love. So this looks absolutely fantastic. Again, I'm just taking my time building her up slowly. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with her. She doesn't really have the DPS to make her a damage dealer, so I may just put an insight on her. As you can see, in terms of my tier 4 materials, I put them all into Adam over the last month or so. We finally got him to tier 4. Not sure who we're going to do next. You can see we got a few different options with Doc Ock, Black Bolt. But yes, this is the situation. We have 2 female human speed tier 4s as it is, with Shadow Shell and Gwen. And a lot of people are going to say, well, you know, you have speed tier 4s, so you don't need Luna. Which kind of defeats the object. Yes, those 2 are both free to play, and they're both great. But, and also, I guess Shadow Shell does elemental damage, so if you're going to say Luna for elemental damage, well, that knocks that bit on the head. But the fact is that a lot of people want to be able to use Luna. They don't want to have to use a different character. They don't want to have to use a Shadow Shell if they would be able to use a Luna. And I don't think it should be down to the devs to say, tough, this is your choice. You either pay up or you have to use a different character. You can't use the character that you want. It's a really scummy tactic. We've seen it in big budget AAA games. We saw it with Marvel's The Avengers, where only the PlayStation version got Spider-Man. And if you had an Xbox version, it was just tough. You had to go without, literally. It's been a while since she last had a uniform. And it's a real shame. Because what they could have done is they could have given her a free-to-play uniform, or even a maximum crystal cost uniform. They've given Sharon, she's always been, out of the 3 who came along, Sharon was always the free-to-play original character. Then there was Luna and Crescent. You know that in a month or so, they're going to complete the trifecta, and they're going to give Crescent a free uniform. Or not free, but a crystal cost only uniform. And no one's going to get it, because Crescent has always been a rubbish character. Marvel Future Fight know this, of course they do. They look at the metrics, they know that she's not popular, they know that her uniforms don't sell. So, instead of giving it to her, they decided, no, we're going to screw over everyone who's either free to play or low spending VIP, anyone who gets a Stark stash, etc. And we're going to make sure that they can't use Luna. And to be honest, it's gone on for too long now. We've seen it so many times. With all these different packs and offers, etc., they've always pushed Luna, so that pretty much everyone who plays MFF has Luna as a character. Even though she is technically a premium or paywall character, there are so many different ways to get her, and when you first start the game, she's pretty much pushed as the premium character to get. I know that at the moment, she's not exactly fantastic because it has been such a long time since her last uniform, and the game has very much passed her by over the last year or so. She's never been PvP meta, but she was for PvE. You can see we have been using Gwen. We also have a similar setup for Shadow Shell, but let's just put Luna in and see if she can do anything at all, because I guarantee you the answer is going to be no. And sadly, the same as with Storm, even at level 80 or possibly tier 4, without the latest uniform, she's probably still going to struggle to output the DPS needed to get very far. So let's have a look. This is her at stage 14, and we're just going to have a play. Oh, first rotation, doesn't even get a whole bar down. That's not great. Okay, let's see if we can get the tier 4 off and see how she... Oh, okay, she got blipped. Wow. Okay, 19 seconds. She just about managed a bar. We just got her tier 3 off and she got absolutely destroyed by Jean Grey. Now, considering she's ice against fire, you'd think that she'd have some kind of, advantage, but evidently not. So just to compare her with a character who does have a tier 4 and does have a 2023 uniform, let's see what we get within 20 seconds from Spider-Gwen. Because you're going to see that she's going to need a lot of work. And this is probably where she's going to be. I can imagine her being the same, if not better, than where Gwen is right now. Because she's always been a huge PvE. So there you go, 20 seconds, same amount of time, and she absolutely ripped through 20 bars. 15 bars, whatever. So it's funny, you see all these event quests that we used to have down the side there, the right, we used to get ones twice a year, and we used to get them for X23, wherever she is. Yep, used to get her, where you could get bios for her, and we used to get them for Luna, and we used to get them for Crescent, and depending on what star level you had the character, you could get more bios as a reward. They stopped doing those about 3-4 years ago now, and they haven't gone back to them, which is a shame. But yet still, Luna is a very popular character who everyone has. Of course, you can technically also get her from Dimension missions. As you can see there, she's probably one of the better characters to get in terms of a paywall character if you can re-roll and actually manage to get the bios. But still, I digress. It's a shame that once again we're having to have this conversation. We used to have it once and then twice a year, and now we're having to have it 4 times a year. We go summer. We have, for some reason, they've now decided to go with April Fools. And side note, does anyone else have that problem ever since the last update? Every time you go to the main screen on an Android device, it flicks up with the 3 things at the bottom as if it's going back out into the main menu of the phone. They really need to fix that. Anyway, yes, Storm. She got a tier 4 and she got a uniform. But without the uniform, Storm is garbage. Absolutely garbage. She cannot do anything. She's absolutely no good for anything other than being a support passive for lightning types. That's about it. We've seen with every other paywall that they've brought in. With Silk, with her Summer Days uniform, can't do anything without it. She didn't even get anything other than a Transcendence, because I think that was before tier 4s came out. Same with Black Cat with her winter uniform. I mean, it's a great looking uniform, but if you don't have it, even if you do, they can't do much since she doesn't have the ability to transcend. So that's another waste. Then there was Magic, Christmas just gone. Obviously we had Squirrel Girl, April Fools. I'm sure we're going to get another one in 3 months' time for Halloween, probably Satana. And yeah, we're just building up this massive backlog of characters who, unless you spend money on, they're just going to be left behind, and there's no point in building them up or touching them. And sadly, it may very well be the same for Luna. It's been, what, a good 12-18 months since we got their like Sirius series, where she, Sharon Rogers, Crescent all got those uniforms. And whilst we all know Crescent in a month or so is probably going to get a Crystal Cost uniform, just like Sharon did for, Independence Day, 4th of July, most recent one. Yeah, Luna is the one who has to miss out, which means a lot of characters who haven't got Gwen or Shadow Shell because they were waiting for Luna are sadly going to miss out. And that is a real shame. I feel really bad for those people, and it does need to be addressed, because I think that whilst yes, there are going to be some people who are going to say, hey, you know, it is what it is, like Alex, or there will be some people who are just like, suck it up, I've got a job, you should have a job, go and spend the money, you scrub, like Beast. I want to be a bit more fair and balanced in my assessment. and I think it's a real shame. I mean, we got very lucky with this last update with Enchantress because it had been a good 2 years since her last update, and we finally were able to get something to use of her. Sidebar, I did get a mighty CTP of energy from Null the other day, which I put onto Doc Ock, so now that I finally finished Adam, I think I'm probably going to either work on him next for my next tier 4, or Black Bolt for the fast clears, possibly Logan, but I'm not even really sure I see the point until we can see what can do. But yeah, there we go. That's the state of play at the moment. Unfortunately, it's a shame for Mysterio, who didn't get his tier 4, so we can unfavourite him. I don't know if I'm going to be getting that uniform, because there's not going to be too much content we can use him in. Unless he's a real DPS monster. We should have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think this is being blown out of proportion, or are you all just as mad as a lot of the community seem to be? What do you feel about Marvel Future Fight going forward in 2023? Is this still the right approach to take, or are they just milking a global brand, and if this was another series like 7 Deadly Sins, would they have just dropped the game already? It'd be interesting to know what you guys think. Anyway, till then, take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.
We await your return, warrior.